A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Nerf Secret Revealed. For the last time today, that is, because of course I'm on to my fifth topic, which, as I've said in the last episode, I was going to do a total of 5 topics at once. So the fifth and final topic I'm going to bring up for today is custom works. And I'm talking about custom works that are just simply built from scratch. And works that are built from scratch are quite a big thing out there to try to take on to. They are, in fact, sometimes very hard projects that you could, in fact, face a lot of problems into, but there's always a learning curve, and it's always a rewarding experience when it comes to having yourself your own custom-made works. Because, of course, the product would be made by you would own yourself the product, and, of course, it would be your own design, too, depending on how you made your own work out there. Because of course, it'd be something that you own, so you own the copyright rights to it. And so, of course, when it comes to me and copyrighted work on my channel, I mean, I've got my works out there. All of my franchises are definitely copyrighted. And anybody, rips off apart from them, I mean, it would be a problem. A really big problem for any of them who dare try to do something like that. But, again, I'm mainly talking about something that is built from scratch. In terms of Nerf blasters and the like, we've hardly gotten any ever since Frank or Coop's website had shut down. And I'm talking about Coop's website here in this episode again, is that the reason why is because of how, of course, many of those blasters and products that you've seen on what used to be Coop's website before it gone out of business there was a lot of things that were influenced about it, and there were plenty of original designs that were taken hold. And of course there was a lot of promotion and a lot of performance put into play. Performance was a really big factor out there that really played on to how sometimes, well, Nerf blasters aren't always on the safe side. But of course when it comes to Frank's blasters out there, which were on that website, including the Bullpup V2 as well as the Rainbow Blaster, they both fired super hard, and if you looked at a tachometer or something like that, of course they would show pretty good amounts of FPS ranges. FPS stands for feet per second. Similar in ways to how an airsoft gun would fire a BB. Depending on how it's advertised, of course it might not always be true, but mainly, of course, the use of a tachometer would be right just to indicate how fast a dart or something like that, any projectile, would be moving. And in terms of how well those custom works were, they both shot pretty hard. The Bullpup V2 shot at around 253 FPS at most. But in terms of how things are recently, more recent times, there have in fact been quite a few custom works that we've gotten, especially from a website called Etsy. And if you don't know what Etsy is, then Etsy, of course, is a website that is especially geared for those who are into arts and crafts or any kind of customized products out there. Anything that is built from scratch, anything that is built from, inspiration and the like, anything that has to do with arts, crafts, anything that you can design, build, crochet, and the like, so anything that you could find that are relative to those, you would find them on Etsy.com. But what I'm talking about on Etsy.com that's Nerf related is Spring Thunder. If you don't know what Spring Thunder is, then Spring Thunder was in fact a shell loading shotgun that was completely made from scratch with the use of 3D printed parts. As a matter of fact though, Coop 772 has also managed to do a review on that blaster. And that blaster does in fact come from Etsy.com, but unfortunately from the way I see it, it's not technically available anymore. So it's probably something out there that I might need to look into to find out if it does have some more availability put into it. But, of course, the benefit of that was, of course, the blaster itself was built from scratch from 3D printed parts and the like, which were all fused together. And the fact that it had itself a pump action, as well as shells that could pop out, similar in ways to a Nerf sledge fire. But of course, that was a fully customized piece of art right there that was made and sold to customers out there who were into customized works. On Etsy.com though, it's not like, well, the creator of that blaster really just decided to have some more value put onto it by putting it on other websites other than Etsy.com like eBay, AliExpress, which I also do admit is a pretty good source for Nerf products out there that do have some customized parts on it, but of course many of these other websites out there, it probably depends on how the value of the product itself attains with its, appropriate factor into it. Because the Spring Thunder shotgun was a fully customized work, it had to be sold on Etsy.com. Probably not anywhere else. So, of course, even though it's probably not as available, it was still quite a really good thing to look at out there. It would in fact inspire any of us to come up with other ideas to try to make fully customized products that are backwards compatible with Nerf related technology and the like. And so, I feel like that's probably just the end of that part, but right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take yet another little break out here, and I will come back with some more episodes around, but up until that point that happens, if you want to see more go down on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.